Welcome to Let's Build an AI Agent. I am Shay Jackson. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. I am making this video, and I mentioned it in the first video I made. I will link it up top. I wanted to document my journey in learning how to build AI agents and multi-agents. One of the things that I did mention in my first video is I started learning how to build agents using LangChain and kind of got caught up in the no code, low code applications that were available, still are. But one of the things that I decided that I wanted to do is to be able to learn through coding and creating an agent just so that I can have more control over what the agent does, etc. In this video, part two, what I am doing is building on what I created last time. So in the last video, what I did was I created an agent, and the only thing that I did was connected to an LLM, large language model. The one that I am using is OpenAI, similar to ChatGPT, so that I could confirm that my agent was connected to the LLM, okay, using the OpenAI API key. In this video, I am going to, like I said, build upon that. Instead of putting in a hardline question like I did in the last video, I am going to set it up where I have a system message, also a human message, and the response that the chat model will give. Let's dive in. Let's get started. I am already in Virtual Studio Code and I have set up my different files, okay? Just to give, and these are the same files that I created in for my first agent in the last video. I have main.py, and that's where my main code would be. I have a requirements.txt file, and in there you see I have LangChain, LangChain dash community, LangChain dash OpenAI, and also python.env. Okay. Now, for my .env folder, one of the things, or my .env file, one of the things that I mentioned is that I'm not going to show this because this is where my OpenAI API key is housed, and I don't want to share that. Okay. So all you would have to do is put in OpenAPI and I'll put it here in all caps, and you can look it up as well, but it is let me put it in all caps. There it goes. OpenAI dash API dash key equals, and then in parentheses, what you're going to do is you are going to put your API key. It starts with SK. And that is what right now is in my .env file. Okay, so let me delete that. Let me go ahead and save my requirements file. So before we get started with our main.py, what I'm going to do is I am going to open up a new terminal. And one of the things that I mentioned, and I'll probably mention in the first few videos if you're following along, is I am going to code in a virtual environment. Okay. So in order to set that up, what I'm going to do is put Python. Oh, let me take the caps off. Python -m vmv, and I'm going to name it env. And so let me just go over what this is saying. Basically, I'm telling Python, hey, I want you to use the module that's the virtual environment. VMV is the virtual environment module for Python. And at the end, I'm telling it what I would like to name that virtual environment. Okay, so I'm going to press enter. And you see right here on the left-hand side, it created a virtual environment. It says VirtM, and what it's doing now is creating different folders, files, and everything for the virtual environment. And the reason why that I create a virtual environment for every program that I have is that anything that I'm using, whether it's the coding, everything, I want it just contained within that virtual environment, as opposed to, it having access to my computer. It's like I mentioned, a virtual environment. So this will take a little time. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know how to fast forward yet. I'm kind of an amateur with recording. So I'll go ahead and I'll stop the video. And then once everything is through, I will come back. Okay. So let me stop this. Okay. Everything is done. And one of the things that I want to do is just click on it so you can see all of the different, like it has libraries, scripts, etc. in the virtual environment, just so that it can run on its own without any dependency on my computer. Okay. So now that I've done that, now what I need to do is I need to activate the environment, my virtual environment. In order to do that, I'm going to put in /. So I'm saying go to the virtual environment, and I'm going to go to scripts and then activate. Now, once I do that, you see how now in front of the PSE, and it has where the folder is located, there is it has a parentheses, and my virtual environment is in front of it. That is how you know you are working in a virtual environment. Great. Now that that's done, what I need to do is I want to load the dependencies that I have in my requirements.txt folder. In order to do that, I'm going to put pip install r requirements.txt. And you see it's now starting to load all the dependencies that I have. And this usually takes a little time as well. Hopefully it can go by fast, but you never know. But while that is running, one thing that I can do is I can go ahead and I can start writing code in my main.py file. Okay, so let's do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is I need to start calling, even though they're not ready, I need to start calling the different things that I need in order for my program to work. Okay, so I'm going to say from .env. Hold on, let me move that. From .env, I want to import load underscore .env. Now, usually, automatically, this would highlight and be okay. The only reason that it's not is because the my dependencies are still loading. So I think I might need to just hold off, or maybe you can see it while it's in real time. That's okay. Okay. Oh, you just saw it. You see how now it's turned to the .env turned to green, and you see right here on main.py was red because it was like, girl, we don't have anything for that. But as I mentioned, it's going through the different dependencies, and once those are loaded, you see now there are no issues. There is no red or anything like that. Great. So now what I need to do is I am going to add LangChain from, and just to mention, so with LangChain, as I mentioned, that what I'm going to be doing differently than what I did for my first agent, as opposed to just putting a question in parentheses for the content. And I think my question was, can you give 5 business principles that the Rockefeller family used? Okay. And it gave me an answer. Well, instead of using already hardlining and having that question in there, what I want to do differently is, and excuse me if you hear the plane, what I want to do differently is I want to have the capability of just putting in a system message, the message that human that I will input in, and also the response that the chat model is going to give. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to put in from LangChain underscore core messages, import human. Okay, why is that still there? Okay, there we go. Human message, and you see it's kind of already populating. So I want the human message, the system message, and you see, and I want you all to look down here. It's still loading the dependencies. That's why it's not giving suggestions like it needed to. You see now it just popped up. I'm glad this is happening during real time. System message, and we have an AI message. Okay, there we go. AI message is there. We could just click that. Okay, so again, this gives me the capability of being able to call human message, system message, and AI message whenever I am creating messages for my agent. Okay. Also, what I need is I need to also call my chat model. So in order to do that, I'm going to say from LangChain underscore open AI, and it's right there. So I'm just going to click it. I'm going to import, if I could spell, chat open AI. Okay. Okay, so that is all I need for right now. Now that that is completed, I am ready to get started. So the first thing that I want to do is I need to call on my my .env folder, because that is what has the API key that I need in order to use the chat model. Okay, so I'm gonna put in a comment, and I'm gonna say load env variables. Okay. And so in order to do that, I'm going to put in load underscore dot env parentheses. Okay. So after I've done that, the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to create my chat model. So let me go ahead and I'm going to comment that as well. Okay. And I'm going to use for my chat model, the variable that I'm going to assign it to is LLM. Okay, so I'm going to put LLM equals chat open AI. It's already auto completing it. Chat open AI, and then open parentheses. And what I need to do is I need to tell what model I want to use. Like, am I going to use GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, GPT-01? For this, I'm going to use, let me put model, because that's what I'm going to assign it to. And I'm going to put in GPT-4o mini. All right. So now there is my LLM. Okay. After that, now I'm ready to set up my messages. Create messages. Okay. So in order to create my messages, I need to create a variable that I can call when I am creating a system message and a human message. It's going to all be together. Okay, so I'm going to, messages is so easy to use. And I need the brackets because within these brackets, I'm going to enter in a system message and also a human message as well. The system message is kind of helping the chat model to understand what its role is. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos or if you've ever seen any documentation saying, like for instance, you are a whatever, like you are an executive assistant of a law firm. Okay. Because I make law videos, how to automate your law firm in 90 days, shameless plug. But like if I was telling the chat model, you are an executive assistant for a law firm, that would be the system message. Sorry about that. That would be the system message so that it would know what role it's going to play just so that it can give me a really good response. Okay. So let me start with system message. Okay. Oh, message. Okay. Content. Okay. And now here I am going to tell it what it is. Let me see. You are let me see, I'm going to say business coach. I'm going to say experienced business coach. You are an experienced business coach that assists startup founders with ideas based on their career experience. Okay. So now I've told the system message, this is who you are. Okay. Now I'm going to give the human message like what I want to ask the chat model. Okay. So I'm going to put in human message. Okay. Content. Okay. And for the content, I'm going to say, can you give me, let me see, 7 business ideas for someone who has experience in the, let me see, customer retail, who has over 10 years, 10 plus years experience in the retail customer. Oh, we could just put industry. You see, I'm trying to get a little too fancy. Okay. So again, let's look what we have. So first we loaded up our environment variables, and you see down here, we still don't have all of our dependencies are not done yet. Okay. But you see, as time goes on, it's lighting up, showing that it has done what it needs to do. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. So first I loaded my environment variables, and then I created my chat model. And then after that, here I'm creating my messages. I have a message for my system message. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this. What is important whenever you are creating your messages, the order of operation, I don't know if y'all remember that from math, the order of operation has to be system message first. Okay. It has to be system message first, and then after that, then you would need to have the human message, of course, because you're trying to ask the chat model to do something. Okay, you're giving it a command, and then after that, then that's when the AI message. We're going to work on that now, but remember, whenever you are creating conversations, it has to be the system message first. And you see it's red, it's because it's still loading those dependencies. So I'm going to move forward, even though it's still showing, and then I'm going to now we want to what's called invoke. Basically, we're going to say, hey, look at this message, and then give a response. Okay, so I'm going to put invoke message. It's amazing how much I misspell when I'm recording. All right. So, in order for us to invoke the message, what I need to do is assign it a variable so that I can call it, and I'm going to make it response. So I'm going to say response. Okay, is equal to. Did I spell response right? LLM. Okay, and I'm calling here. I'm calling my chat model. Okay, LLM dot invoke. And what am I trying to invoke? You see it's finally done. Okay. Oh, let me see. Okay, you see now everything is done, and we are right here. And I'm going to push clear so we can see it. All right. Okay, now what are we invoking? We want to invoke our messages that we have here, the system message and the human message. And let me see. I'm just making sure because it's still showing. Let's see. Let me see. Human. Yeah, that class is right. And you see I have it here. Let me do Control S. I don't think that would be the reason. But it's still showing that there's something wrong. I know what's wrong. I forgot my comma. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put one right here too. That is why it was still showing, and let me show you guys again. I was wondering why the human message that it was showing white and the red means, girl, it is something wrong. Can you find out and correct it, please, so this program could run smoothly? And I couldn't figure out why. I was looking at the spelling to make sure that I spelled it correctly. And I realized I forgot to add a comma. And see, now everything is great. Okay. So now I have created a variable for my response. So this is where, when I'm invoking the messages, the information is going to be set up in the variable response. Okay. Well, that's fine, but how am I going to be able to see it? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say print. Okay. Answer. And I'm saying the answer from AI. Okay. And that's like our AI message. Okay. I'm going to put in response dot content. Oh, hold on. This needs to be over here. Let me move that. All right, there we go. Okay. So all I'm saying is I want you to print a response, and I just got fancy to say answer from AI, basically the answer from the chat model. Let me save it, and let's see how everything is going to work. In order for me to run this program, I'm going to put in Python. Y'all see all these mistakes I'm making? Okay, main.py. No errors have came up, so I think we're good. It's just pinging OpenAI, and here we go. Here is our answer. Let me scroll down so we can see it. Did it give us 7? Yes, it gave us 7. So, answer from AI, absolutely. Leveraging over 10 years of experience in the retail industry, you have a unique understanding of market dynamics, customer behavior, and operational efficiency. Here are 7 business ideas that can capitalize on your expertise. 1, retail consultancy. 2, e-commerce store specializing in niche products. 3, customer experience enhancement service. 4, retail technology solutions. 5, subscription box service. 6, retail space design and layout consulting. 7, workshops and training programs for aspiring retail entrepreneurs. These ideas leverage your extensive knowledge and experience in retail while addressing current market trends and opportunities. Consider your passions and interests when selecting a path that feels right for you. So it's saying, okay, you have that experience, that's great, but also what we want you to do is think about your passion and your interests as well, because it was just your job. You have expertise, but you'll be definitely committed to something you have an interest or a passion in. Okay, that was great. And that is it for part 2 us of building an AI agent. And this is a basic agent where instead of using just a hardline question, what I did was created where I gave a system message and also a human message so that we can just definitely, instead of putting it and saying in the chat model, the content, we're able to change out these questions. So we could change out these questions, like for instance, and this is the, to me, this is like the difference, because you have an opportunity as opposed to having to create or write a program every single time because you want to change the content. We could do something else. We could put another system message, another human message, as well as if we are talking directly to ChatGPT on the front end. This is different. This is on the back end. I am in the back end, not on, in the back end. I am Shay Jackson. Have a great day.